Hello, everybody. It's good to have you back on my video blog. It's happy to report that I'm doing much better with my long-term COVID, and it gets better by the day. I thought you'd like that good news. Also, at the end of this video blog, please subscribe. And if you have an extra $25 around, go to my Patreon page, which the link will be below, and help me pay my rent by doing this vlog. Today, in Mel Brooks's, there was the springtime for Hitler in Germany. And though it is springtime and there's not a Hitler, it is springtime for hate in America. It's an election year. And every election year that I can remember, someone has been hated, sometimes more than one. When I was growing up, the way that the rich Southern aristocrats, Democratic, kept power was using the N-word. George Wallace one time running for governor, and he lost the primary, and he proclaimed, "I will never be out-end again." The Japanese were rounded up in World War II as villains. Interesting enough, there were no camps for Germans in World War II. George Soros around the world has become synonymous with Jewish and evil Jewish. Just two words, his name has been built into this anti-Semitic chant. So, we face social issues when the rich and powerful want to keep power, and they're afraid that fairness will creep into not only the electoral system, but to our economics and to our societal fabric. Now, we know it's springtime in America in an election year because already this year alone, we have 300 plus anti-LGBTQ plus pieces of legislation submitted in the states across the country. 300 in 4 months. Now, let's not kid ourselves. Those people, some of them might passionately believe what they're submitting, but they cannot justify anything else that they're advocating. So what do? They roll out the gays, they blame the Chinese for the virus, hate crime soar in the Jewish community, hate crime soar against the Asian community and the LGBT community, especially the trans community. And they use us as a battering ram to get those who should be our natural allies to keep them away and keep us apart. They did it to the populists in the early part of the century and elected William McKinley, the most pro-industrial president ever. So what is clear more than ever in this election, with so much at stake, and with the nation being divided 50-50, democracy being at stake, the freedom of religion, freedom of the First Amendment, so much is at stake in this election year. We can expect hate flowing from every direction. Now, there's the old lower class hate, where they put on the Klan outfits and rode through the cities and towns and beat up people and killed people, thugs. They were known as the brown shirts in Nazi Germany. And then there were those who wore suits and ties, who would condemn those riding around on horses and robes, but then would pass all the legislation that those people riding around on horses and robes wanted. And that way they kept power. Now, the fact of the matter is, if you look at the polls, there are not half and half. Overwhelmingly, the American majority want student loans paid off so their kids are not burdened with debts. Overwhelmingly, Americans want healthcare expanded, Social Security expanded. Overwhelmingly, they want clean rivers and clean air. Overwhelmingly, they want the right of free speech and association. But they are distracted because of one issue, the economy. 1% of the people of this country owns almost all of the wealth of the rest of us. There are 9 lobbyists in Washington, D.C. paid by corporations for every elected representative in Congress, 9 per person. They are tax breaks for the rich, 1.5 trillion. And we're told that there's no money to pay off student loans, 1 trillion. We're told that the tax breaks will trickle down or they'll expand. Well, they do expand. They buy, instead of 2 houses around the world, they buy 4 houses. Instead of a $250 million boat, they buy a $1 billion boat. They do expand. And instead of a purse that might cost, maybe $500, which would be expensive to any of us, they buy purses worth $20,000. And they don't want to give that up. And so they support politicians who will advocate on their behalf in exchange for power and, yes, money. I mean, Mitch McConnell's a multimillionaire now. He didn't have that money when he went in the Senate. You know, we have people trading stocks as they sit in the office. This is wrong. This is all wrong. But it is the reason it is springtime for hate in America. Now, don't be fooled. It's all about money. It's all about money this year. And the difference this time between DeSantis and the Abbotts of the world, they're not wearing Sears hoods made by Sears sheets. They are buying hoods made by Calvin Klein sheets. They're dangerous. And hopefully my hope is that they take on so many people, women on choice, gays and lesbians, Asian Americans, Hispanics. My hope is that enough of them will see through the hate and that we can form a coalition that still gives us a shot at winning this November. So it's springtime for hate in America, but we don't have to accept it, ever. Thanks, peace, subscribe, leave a little donation for me. Help me out, will you? Thanks so much.